This question is on how has Rawls enriched the idea of justice in liberalism. Rawls is first of all considered liberal. Liberalism is of two types, classical and modern, and Rawls belongs to modern liberalism. Okay. Rawls' contribution to liberalism is this idea of justice. So the question is, what kind of contribution Rawls made to liberalism, and what is the significance of this idea, of his idea of justice? Okay. Let us look at how Rawls gave a huge shift to liberalism. Okay. Let us start with the basics. Liberalism is about the liberty. Liberty also means freedom. And whose liberty and whose freedom? This is of individuals. And from whom is this freedom? From state. From state. State will not take away certain basic rights of the individuals. Okay. First, Hobbes said state is of a contract, and Locke proposed minimal state. Hobbes, Locke, these are liberals. Locke proposed minimal state. A state that does not take away rights. Why can't it take away the rights? Because individuals have the liberty to pursue certain rights. It can be freedom of speech, it can be freedom of religion, freedom of association, like this, fundamental rights that we call in Indian Constitution. How can individuals be given these rights without any state interference? Because it is assumed individuals can exercise reason and pursue their rights in a responsible way. So it means they know what to do. Okay. So liberty was based on individuals' ability to reason, and each one has fundamental rights, or rights. In Indian Constitution they are called fundamental rights, but otherwise they are rights. And also assumed in this each one has his own rights means there is no discrimination. There is no discrimination, and all are equal, regardless of be it caste, class, or religion, or gender, or ethnicity, or region. Equal, regardless of these groups. Okay. So, what is the essence of liberalism? Rights, freedom, and people treated equally, all given equality of opportunity on individual basis. Okay. Of course, groups can pursue their freedom. That's called freedom of a religious group to pursue, which is freedom of religion. But it is given not to the groups, but given basically to the individuals, because individuals can convert from one religion to another religion. So, individualism is the basis, equality is the basis, equality of opportunity is the basis, freedom is the basis. This is what liberalism is, based on Hobbes, Locke, or Adam Smith. Okay. And given the equal opportunities, if they do well, then they get higher salary, or higher profits, or higher rewards. So, treat equally, and if they do well, they get better rewards. Okay. So, there is an economic dimension. Okay. And minimum interference also meant market to play a role, and state less. This is all liberalism. So, what is justice in this kind of liberalism of Hobbes, Locke, and Smith, and even Bentham? Is about equal treatment, equality of opportunity, and rewarding without any discrimination, non-discrimination, freedom, equality of individuals. This is liberalism. Okay. But then, this kind of equality is not helping all. There are rich people becoming richer. There are poor people maybe becoming poorer. Blacks ignored. Okay. So, giving freedom to every individual and treating everybody equally has not produced any social equality, or it has not reduced social inequality. In fact, in the pursuit of social equality, some people went for completely alternative systems like socialism, communism, rejecting individual rights. So, some people went towards socialism and communism, rejecting rights. China, USSR pursued this. And some countries had rights, but it was producing inequalities. That was US. So, US was following liberalism, but not able to handle these inequalities. So, liberalism is leading to inequalities, and you have socialism leading to no rights. So, it is in this context comes Rawls. Rawls is a liberal because he believes in rights. He believes in individual rights, individualism. He believes in liberty. Wants freedom. This is it. But he saw this kind of liberalism is producing inequalities or not reducing the inequalities. So Rawls thought there should be some breakthrough in the ideology of liberalism that takes into account this issue of inequalities, because when the groups are unequal, when there is social discrimination, then there cannot be equality of opportunity. Lower caste and upper caste cannot have equality of opportunity if the state is treating everybody equally. Okay. So Rawls thought there should be a way of overcoming this problem. Okay. Simply giving freedom to pursue an occupation, freedom to make use of market, is not really producing right or fair or just societies, he thought. Okay. So he proposed something that takes into account social structure, that takes into account social inequalities. And in his theory, he proposed the disadvantaged ones, the worse off ones, should be actively helped. Active helping of the worse off sections or the worse off groups or individuals creates equality of opportunity. It leads to equality. And this leads to better exercise of rights guaranteed under liberalism. So, Rawls proposed state taking an active role in giving preference to disadvantaged groups and disadvantaged individuals, socially discriminated individuals, and through which equality of opportunities is created and a better society with a more opportunities for equality and equality can be created. So he moved from simply individual basis to group base. Individual left to himself to state help. State minimal role to state active role. Okay. So taking care of the worst of disadvantaged with a welfare orientation is, according to Rawls, is just society. Okay. So equality as fairness is justice. So instead of simply individual liberty, Rawls wanted to create a condition where the society is changed in a way individuals are benefited. But this is not at the expense of basic liberties. So he proposed a theory of like this, a theory of justice in which people would have basic liberties, would have equal opportunities, okay, but a system where the worst of people would be positively helped. So one, basic principles, basic liberties, 2A equal opportunities, and 2B difference principle. But basic liberties should be given preference over equal opportunities and equal opportunities over difference principle. Okay. Here you can go into the details of Rawls' theory on how he arrived at this. He said that if the individuals do not know their class or social position, abilities and likes and dislikes, which he called original position, and if they have to choose a society where there are limited number of goods being social and economic, which kind of society they will choose? He proposed that every individual or any individual, which means every individual, any individual, it is not a group base, any individual will choose a society where in case he is going to be very poor, he would like to be helped. That position is called a maximum. His position is, if his position is going to be minimum, that is going to be positively pushed by the government. So that's called maximum position. So his abilities don't match with what the system requires. So he wants to be pushed. It is that kind of society he would love to be a part of. So Rawls' assumption is that justice is what you would choose when you don't know your class or position and abilities and likes and dislikes. And his assumption is that everybody will choose liberties, everybody will choose equal opportunities and difference principle, but in this order. So the speciality about this order is that basic liberties are going to be given a priority, and so communism and socialism ruled out. Okay. But unregulated capitalism is ruled out because capitalism believes in market, it doesn't believe in difference principle. So Rawls conducted a kind of a thought experiment, and he felt that the individuals would choose. So the historical experience is included, and finally based on individuals' free choice, of what kind of society he would choose, he called that a just society. So basically, Rawls gave justification for helping the disadvantaged, be it individuals, taking special care of groups without sacrificing the basic liberties. So in that sense, instead of paying simply attention to liberties and merit, he paid attention to the social structure and the structure of inequality generation, and he wanted to stop that. Okay. Take for example, in India's case, if you are going by classical liberalism, then the government will conduct an examination, and on the merit basis it will give jobs. This is classical liberalism. As long as there is no copying and there are no malpractices, and anybody who writes well will get the job, then it is considered fair. But enter Rawls now. Rawls will say that some people do not have that social capital or ambience to do this examination well. They don't have the resources, and so using difference principle, give push. In India's case, that's called reservations. Okay, and so that they will have better equality of opportunity, and that is how you are pursuing equality. So the idea of justice is given a push, or the liberalism is really enriched by this a different notion of justice that included the social structure and socially disadvantaged groups. So in that sense, it is a huge push in the theory of liberalism that redefined the role of the state. So Rawls, who is regarded as a modern liberal, made a huge contribution to the idea of justice and to the theory of liberalism.